I got started into graffiti because I wanted to take a stance on Arizona's view of gay marriage, and I was just not there. I started out with making tape casts of men groping each other and putting them outside of businesses.
My name is Nosebleed, and what got me into graffiti was looking for another outlet aside from what I do with music and skateboarding and things like that. So it was sort of the appeal of being able to express my inner self and emotions and being completely anonymous and not judged for what I do, no matter the context or the emotion or what it may be. So.
My name is Yats. It's an acronym. It stands for You're All the Same. What got me started in graffiti is I was able to voice my opinion. I was able to say what I needed to say without being criticized or judged for my opinions or my beliefs.
I kind of actually like graffiti as long as it's legal, because it allows you to express your feelings.
I think mostly their lack of respect for property, and probably, well, maybe not mostly, but certainly their lack of respect for property, and probably mostly their misguided allegiance to various affiliations, such as gangs, for example.
I would say that with vandalism, it's based on the intention of the person. Some people just want to be vandals and just destroy things for other people, and other people, such as myself, want to make the world that is very...
The fine line between street art and vandalism is if you're doing it because you want to seem cool, and if it's something that's coming from who you are. If you're just some kid who's like, oh hey, blah 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 was here at 420, then that's just complete stupid.
Well, I think it's more street art than vandalism. Again, as long as it's legal. But I mean, if you're just spray painting it anywhere, that's more just vandalism.
There's always two sides to graffiti. There's a street art side and there's always a vandalism side. There's always kids who just want to break stuff, write their name on a wall, just because they think it's fun. And then those who see it more artistically and more involved into art. Everything is just revolved around the art scene. That's a street art, and both sides kind of have an influence in graffiti. There's always just like the really, really intricate, the really well done and thought out. There's the street art, and then there's just the vandalism side. And it's very few and far between to where you come across someone who likes both. But I'm one of those kind of people.
With street art, it comes from who you are, and it conveys a message that you want everyone to hear. A message to the public.
It is a very mundane place to live in. You want to make it a much more appealing place to see, because everything you go out there, it's all the same. You know, it's like people are living this zombie-like existence, and they're just bombarded with advertising and things like that. So to me, the difference is vandalism is people just wanting to be destructive, and then street art is making the world a much more beautiful and acceptable place to live in.
I think they could have a number of different influences on people. I think people could have could be scared because it might indicate to them that they're in a place that has, say, gang activity, and so that could scare people. It could make people upset, like myself, who just see it for what it is, which is damage to property. And then I think, if you think you see enough of it, then you may have no reaction at all.
It was a combination of wanting to display feelings that I wasn't comfortable with displaying openly in front of people, and also being really attracted to a lot of art found by like Shepard Fairey, Neckface, like a lot of the obvious ones, and how they displayed their art and how it impacted other people. So it's kind of a combination of things.
Makes you into more of a risk taker, I guess, and more of an attentive person. Well, one time I was setting up a sculpture of two men groping each other on, I think, Central and Camelback. And this cop showed up and put me in handcuffs, threw me in the backseat of his car, yelled at me for a good hour, took my sculpture and left. So nothing bad happened. I was 14.
There are legal walls you can spray paint on, and you can pay to spray paint, and you have to give consent, or what is it? You have to like submit your idea first, and then they okay it, and then you can spray it, and then, I mean, I think it looks cool, as long as it's legal.
The only type of art that, regardless of corporate America, cannot be bastardized or ruined by anything else, because it always will be something that's very honest. Because if somebody's willing to go forth and take the risk of getting arrested and ruin their entire reputation just for their own art, to me that's incredibly beautiful. And to me, it will always be the most honest and truest form of art based on that reason alone, because that risk is a very big risk. And I know a lot of people, and I've heard of a lot of people who've gotten in a lot of trouble just for their own art. And that's why I believe that it'll always remain to be one of the most beautiful things found in art in general.
And how they act with certain things, whether it be advertisements. A lot of times people just don't acknowledge advertisements, but whenever there's graffiti, people don't like it. They view that as an eyesore and it bothers them. But whenever there's advertisements, they don't think twice about it. They think, oh, there's a total, I want to go get some beer after watching this. But whenever they see something else something more intricate and more intelligent and thought out, it's looked down upon, but no one looks further into that.
To consider graffiti as art, I think you can do that, but in a designated area, in an area that's designated for that type of art. Yes, I think that it is an art form. In that case, the artist would have put effort into it, and there's certainly skill involved with producing, certain types of graffiti. There's certainly skill in that, but in my opinion, only where it is allowed or designated. If you are putting graffiti on property that is not yours, where it's not welcome, then that person's not an artist. That person's a criminal, and it's not art, it's property damage.
So if they want to buff, then that's their choice, but it's my choice to put it back up. So I think since art is subjective, it's up to the person. Buffing is something you can't prevent, and it's something that almost makes the game more exciting.
I think city money should be going to things that matter, like homeless shelters, clean water, streets in Coconino County. It should just go to things that actually matter and not to covering up something that's art.
No, I don't think any graffiti should be left out. You can't really pick and choose what you want to get rid of. I mean, there's the obvious, like really bad tags or really bad just throw-ups or anything, but you can't choose to buff out one thing and choose to save another. Because even, like I said before, there's vandalism in the street art side. You can't just buff out the vandalism side and keep the street art.